years with a passion for diet, nutrition, and holistic health. There's no one better than Dr. Renee to get to the somewhat flabby bottom
nutricionista
of our weight
holística.
loss woes. She also likes dancing. Oh, interpretive dancing.
As a doctor, I come face to face with the obesity problem all the time. Long-suffering patients who do everything they can to lose the weight, but often it just comes back. So maybe we shouldn't just be asking the question, how do you lose weight? We should also be asking, how on earth do you keep it off? Professor Joe Pareto is on the front line of the obesity problem, running a weight control clinic in Melbourne, Australia. He also likes gardening. Hi, Professor Pareto.
How are you, Renee? Welcome, welcome.
But it's the professor's research into weight loss that's breaking new ground. He believes our hormones push us to regain weight as soon as we lose it.
So what happens after weight loss is that the hunger hormone increases, the hunger suppressing hormones decrease, and then what we discovered in 2011 is that they stay there permanently. Well, at least in our study, we looked at 12 months after weight loss, they were still different. But now we have evidence at 6 years that they're still different. So in other words, the biology doesn't give up trying to get you back to your set point. We're here now.
It's what's often referred to as the famine response. After sustained weight loss, hormones are released, urging us to eat more. And then the whole cycle of dieting and eating more repeats. So a lot of people think that obese people are really just not trying.
If you understand the condition, you know that these people are hungrier than people who are lean.
Appetite is regulated by hormones that send signals from our gut, fat, and pancreas to the hypothalamus in the brain, controlling our hunger.
The hypothalamus is actually wired to make us look for food all the time. And that makes sense in an evolutionary sense. So,
things have changed.
Well, things have changed, but they've changed so fast that our biology hasn't optimized yet. We are not making any progress in stemming the obesity epidemic. I mean, it's a major health issue that will end up killing more people than wars or infections or anything else.
The problem seems overwhelming, and it is. According to Professor Pareto's research, a whopping 90 to 95% of us fail to keep weight off after we've lost it because our hormones make us hungrier. But what about the tiny minority that succeeds? Could they hold the key to understanding weight loss? To find out, I've come to Ararat, a quiet, idyllic town 200 kilometres outside of Melbourne. It was named as Australia's heaviest town in the 2011 National Census. A few years ago, reality show The Biggest Loser arrived here to help the townsfolk lose weight.
Hello.
Hello, Sharon?
Yes, how you going?
You and Renee, how are you?
Good, how you going? Come in.
Thank you.
I'm at the home of Sharon Bassett, one of the contestants.
Oh my gosh, your wedding photos.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Wait. I don't know. Wait. No, it has to be 2007 because she's back. Okay.
How much did you weigh back then?
Probably 100 kilos in that photo. It wasn't my heaviest then. Heaviest probably 120.
During the show, Sharon lost a whopping 50 kilos, 41% of her body weight. A truly impressive achievement.
Would you do the show again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As hard as it was, I would still recommend it and I would still do it. You know, they taught me how to eat properly. They taught me how to keep active and fit and the right things to do. And I keep all that and I use that every day. It literally saves my life. Good.
Sharon's weight loss was indeed a game changer. But the real miracle is that 3 years later, she defied the odds and has kept it off.
Yeah. We can feed the chooks.
Oh, you have chooks?
Yeah.
Her secret is something we all have at our disposal. Good old-fashioned hard work and a clean, healthy diet.
Oh my gosh,
Yes, Pig's here.
hello. Hello, Pig. What's So tell me about like your day.
I get up at 5 a.m. and I go for a walk around town.
Yeah, right.
Try to jog, not very good at it. And then I go to work, so I work full time in Ara. And then after work, go to the town gym for an hour. And then go pick up the kids from sitters.
I mean, your entire day is full.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. If I get time at the end, you know, late at night, I might try to get in a quick workout or something.
That's crazy. And so on top of that as well, you're going to have to be thinking about food and what you're going to cook.
Yes, we try to keep everything really clean and healthy. It's hard. It really is hard.
No one should have to exercise 3 hours a day, but Sharon needs to, just to maintain her weight. Thanks to the hunger hormones triggered by her weight loss, she needs to burn 300 calories a day more than someone who hasn't lost so much weight. It's a hard slog, and her resilience is inspiring.
How do you feel about the fact that you have to keep working so hard?
It's a little upsetting that I can't just be normal. Like, I just want to be normal. I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't think this hard. And I thought that maybe over time everything would settle down, so it would get a little bit easier, but it's not. It's constant.
So your body hasn't decided that this is
No.
normal?
My body is saying, this is not your size. I want to be 50 kilos heavier. And I want to be bigger, and so I'm going to push you, and I'm going to push your body to make me this size. It's like I'm fighting this constant battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It might seem unfair, but Sharon's regime is doing wonders for her fitness, cardiovascular and mental health, along with many other benefits to her well-being. She's proof you don't need to be stick thin to be healthy. A recent study found losing just 3 kilos can reduce health problems related to being overweight.
I always knew that obesity was bad for the body, but I never realised that the body could actually stop the ability to change weight. And now that I know that, it's really exciting because it changes the expectations of people who are losing weight. It changes the way that we approach losing weight. And hopefully with all the research, it could change the treatments we offer in the future.
So far, we've learned healthy eating habits when we're young are the best protector against adult obesity. And while putting weight back on after you've lost it may not be your fault, a crash diet is no substitute for healthy eating and regular exercise. But is there anything in the pipeline to help people like Sharon? As a stem cell biologist, you probably think I'm a bit of a nerd. And that'd be fair. But hey, I'm pretty good at karaoke. And as a researcher, I'm naturally curious about the latest developments in science. Apparently, there's a way to burn calories without moving a muscle. I'm on my way to Melbourne's Monash University to be a lab rat in a world-first experiment. It's part of cutting-edge research into something called brown fat that could fundamentally change the way we treat obesity. And it's spearheaded by Professor Brian Oldfield. He also likes sailing.
Michael,
Hi, Brian.
can I introduce you to Dr. Charlotte?
Hi, Michael. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Very well.
So Michael's going to be running the experiment today.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to leave you here in his very confident hands, and I'll be back this afternoon and we can talk about the results.
All right. Running the experiment is neuroscientist Dr. Michael Farrell. He'll give us a quirky demonstration of the MRI that will look inside my brain and body using radio waves and an extremely powerful magnet. Ooh, sciencey. I have no metal limbs. Is that an important question?
Yes, that's one of the questions
Okay.
that Richard the radiographer will be
I
asking.
am not the Terminator.
Okay, that's a good thing. Have you been fasting?
Yep, I haven't eaten anything since dinner last night. I haven't had my coffee. I'm struggling, but in the name of science, I'm food and drink free.
Okay.
In this experiment, we're hoping to see some sort of connection between the brain and the brown fat, because one of our end goals is to determine how we can turn brown fat on through activation of different parts of the nervous system.
So what is this brown fat we're talking about? Glad you asked. We're born with brown fat, which actually burns energy. It's nature's backup generator for keeping helpless babies warm. But excitingly, brown fat was recently discovered in adults, although it only makes up 1% of our body fat. Because it burns energy or calories, it could well be the key to tackling our obesity epidemic. So the brown fat, good fat. Brown fat's the burning fat.
Exactly.
And then there's a white man and the brown man, and the brown man does better than the white man. I mean, it's just life, right? Sorry. But it's dawning on me that what I've signed up for is no joke. It's an endurance test, because brown fat is activated by cold. My ordeal kicks off with cannulas being stuck into my arms so they can monitor my blood sugar level and inject me with radioactive glucose that will light up if my brown fat activates. So my left arm gets the radioactive sugar, my right arm gets the blood samples taken from it.
Exactly.
Now I'm shoving myself into a suit riddled with tubes that will circulate liters of icy water around my body and hopefully be cold enough to activate my brown fat. The suit's all right. It's a nice blue. The cannulas are a little bit uncomfortable. There's lots of hoses coming out of my rear end. But apart from that, it's pretty comfortable. Have a good afternoon watching a movie on the couch.
We've got no popcorn though, unfortunately.
No popcorn. Yeah. What kind of an MRI facility is this? For the next hour and a half, I'll be entombed in this MRI. But if the experiment works, it will be the first time in the world where the interaction between brain and brown fat is recorded in real time.
And the end game is to try and find a chemical that is specific within those nerve pathways for turning on brown fat.
In other words, the long-term goal is a pill that will activate brown fat, a method that, if successful, could bring hope to the overweight and obese.
So you're going to be here for 90 minutes.
Alright.
It's very important. Any little bit of niggle now will be agony in 90 minutes.
So I can't scratch my nose?
Well, you can, but you have to remember to keep your head still.
Keep my head still.
Okay?
Now all I can think of is scratching my nose.
Okay. 2 thumbs up.
This isn't as easy as it looks. I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic, and I'll be trapped in here for an hour and a half. But if it helps science to one day find a pill to treat obesity, then I'm going to grit my teeth and bear it.
Could you switch to the ice water, please, Emma? Okay. Here we go.
Now the ice water is circulating around my body. I'm feeling it in places I've never had ice before.
Hi, Charlotte. We're just checking in to see how you're getting on.
Well, my head can't move. There's things all around my eyes. Pretty tight in here. Feel like I'm trapped. But I guess I'm just trying to stay calm and keep going.
So when you do burn calories, where does the fat actually go?
The human body is a genuine biological wonder, the pinnacle of millions of years of evolution through natural selection. But sadly, very few of us look like this. Most of us look more like Gary. In fact, at 37.8 years of age, 175.6 centimeters tall, and hauling a few extra kilos, Gary's about as average as you can get. And like most people, most of the time, you'd rather be somewhere else. Gary, not so fast. Gary, you're doing exercise. Well, good for you, because we know we all should be doing a little bit more. But have you ever wondered where fat actually goes once you've done enough exercise to tap into it? It's a common misconception that the atoms in so-called burned fat are converted to heat and energy. But that's physically impossible, because the only way atoms can turn directly into energy is in a nuclear reaction. And obviously this isn't happening happening every time someone jumps on a bike. Let's take it from the top. Now, you might have noticed that all this pedaling has got Gary breathing pretty hard. That's because the key ingredient his body needs to turn fat into energy is oxygen. So let's see what's required for Gary to burn 10 kilos of fat. For a start, he'll need to get extra busy on that bike because he'll need to breathe in roughly 29 kilos of oxygen. That's around 406 cubic meters of air. The resulting chemical reaction powers his muscles, but also produces waste, around 28 kilos of carbon dioxide and 11 kilos of water. Which means, in simple terms, most of the fat Gary burns off exercising will exit his body through his mouth as CO2, a little bit each time he breathes out. As for the water, some of it will leave his body as sweat. And if you're wondering how he gets rid of the rest, same way as everybody else.
How would you tackle our obesity epidemic?
Give people on low incomes free access to gyms. Cooking healthy meals from scratch.
I've lost 15 kilograms since September by cutting down sugar immensely and walking 30 minutes to an hour every day.
I'm trapped in this MRI for the longest hour of my life so far, and there's still another 30 minutes to go. I'm taking part in a world-first experiment to record what parts of the brain activate brown fat. Researchers hope they can develop a pill that could burn calories without moving a muscle.
The end game is to try and find a chemical that is specific within those nerve pathways for turning on brown fat.
Hello, Charlotte.
Hello, Michael. Can I have a coffee?
Okay, I'll just talk to the group's barista for you.
Tell me how you're feeling temperature-wise.
Yeah, you're calm.
Okay.
I'm glad I went to pee before I came in here.
So far, Charlotte's skin temperature has dropped down a few degrees to 32 degrees Celsius, but we'll want it to get as low as 26, because at that temperature, the brown fat will activate. We're certainly going to have to get him a bit cooler than he is at the moment.
While I'm lying here, let me tell you why brown fat burns calories. Unlike potentially harmful white fat, which stores energy and makes us, well, fat, brown fat contains brown mitochondria, the energy powerhouses of the cell that burn calories when activated, without us having to move a muscle.
Okay, I think we've got your skin temperature where we want it, at the optimal level.
Alright, I will roll my fat to activate. It'll be activated.
Okay.
This is like water torture. I only hope they can cool me down enough to activate my brown fat. But we won't know that until we analyse the results.
Okay, Charlotte, that's it. We're going to come and get you out of there.
Alright, come and get me.
And now we'll get you to sit up for us. Oh, cool strength. And swing around. Well done. Well done. I feel like I've been in hibernation. Oh, really? Had a good sleep? It's alright. Cold. Hands off, please. Hands off, Friday. Hands off. Whoa. And we'll move out to the chair and we'll take those needles out. Alright, let's do that. Well done. Oh, you got the double latte.
You've been a very good participant.
Oh,
You deserve
I've
every
never
bit of
been
that.
so happy to see you.
Well done. We'll get those lines out.
Thanks. It was pretty challenging in there, and I'm still feeling pretty cold. But I'm really pumped to go and see what the results look like, and hopefully it was all worth it.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. Have you thawed out yet?
Yeah, I'm back to room temperature.
Excellent. Have a seat.
Thank you. All right, what have we got here? This is it, the moment of truth. Did they get me cold enough to activate my brown fat? And will we be able to tell how my brain and brown fat are talking to each other in real time?
So what you can see, Charlotte, is that this is at a point where you're being perfused with water that's about your body temperature.
Okay.
So it's quite comfortable.
But things changed, of course. We cooled you down.
Mm-hmm.
Your skin temperature dropped.
I remember that.
Yes, indeed. And things began to happen.
You can see it specifically in these areas that are just above your collarbone, and all of this is brown fat.
Right, so I've got little patches of brown fat just either side of my neck.
That's
and
right.
they're extending up the side, and they're lighting up because they're working.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to see my brown fat activating. I'm dying to know how many calories I burned without moving a muscle.
In this sort of experience where you were in the scanner for about 90 minutes, that you burnt about 250 calories.
What's that equivalent to?
Say you were walking for about an hour and a half. You would expend about that same number of calories just by lying in that cold suit.
So I could either lie down and be cold for an hour and a half, or go for a walk for an hour and a half, and I would have expended the same amount of energy.
In this situation, theoretically, that's true.
Okay. I don't know about you, but after what I've just been through, I'd rather take the walk, which would also give me cardio and mental health benefits. But was the experiment a success? Does it show how the brain and brown fat actually talk to each other in real time?
This is some very preliminary analysis that Michael's done since you've had the scan, but he started to identify areas of the brain that light up in conjunction with the activation of your brown fat. So this is critically important.
Wow, they've done it. The experiment worked. This is a small but significant step towards developing a pill that may one day replicate this process. What you're saying is I don't have to sit on a couch with a cold suit for an hour and a half a day to lose weight. In the future, there might be something that could mimic that event and help me lose weight.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Cool.